welcome to the 9642 podcast. This is your host, Mr. NumberNine.
And this is the Fool.
This is where me and the Fool give our
Unqualified and unrequested
ramblings on the various issues in the world of sport.
or something like that.
Hello everyone, we are back after an extended period of absence due to various reasons. And we are going back to our bread and butter, the Premier League. And we have had some of the most eventful period of stuff happening since we last spoke. We did Christmas in December, and even we couldn't predict how unpredictable it was going to be after the Christmas period.
Yeah.
Somehow Nottingham Forest ended up firing 2 managers in that time.
Yeah. Crazy.
Manchester United looked like the best team in the league, somehow. And, like, that's not just me doing, like, being a Manchester United bias guy. Like, pretty much everybody's like, oh, Manchester United are back.
Yeah, somehow.
So things are weird. Chelsea have a new manager. That one's not a surprise, to be fair.
No, that's just part of the course, isn't it?
Yeah. But how he got fired, like, this seems to be the trend this season. Managers saying stuff, going like, please fire me. Notably, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace, who seems to be absolutely trying his best to get fired. So he can get his payout and leave. But, you know, Steve Parish, in a move that's absolutely baller, just goes, nah, I'm not going to pay you to leave.
Nah,
just stay.
Fine.
You're still under contract. Just win me the Conference League, and we'll, you know, then you can go off to your next job.
We'll call it even at that point.
And, you know, after like a few weeks of absolutely terrible toxicity at at Selhurst Park, pretty much things have gone back to normal. Like, it's obvious that he's not leaving, so the fans have kind of gone, oh, okay, I don't know what to do now. Like, what's the move here? Like, do we get angry? It's not.
Yeah, but like, we were angry, but we can't maintain this for the whole season. What's up?
Like, we're winning again. Like, it's hard to stay angry. And, like, weirdly, it feels like it'll just all be forgiven if he wins European silverware for Crystal Palace.
I mean, that does go a long way to healing a lot of bridges, right? You start winning your silverware, especially European silverware. Yeah, people are like, okay, maybe you've done something.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you can just imagine them going like, okay, Oliver, we proudly yet angrily wish you a good farewell, but also bad farewell.
Yeah.
And like, you gotta hand it to Palace fans. Like, pretty much the discourse online was like, oh, this is not even the 10th most bad thing that's happened to Crystal Palace in the last 10 years. We're good.
So true.
Yeah, like Crystal Palace, anyone who doesn't know, came, I think, 10 minutes away from getting non-existent because they were about to go fully bankrupt, owed $2 or $3 million to the HMARC, and they had no way to pay. Steve Parish came in like the nick of time, got the money in, saved the club, and then, you know, since then they've slowly crawled their way back up into the league, back into the Premier League, and winning the FA Cup last season.
Ooh.
Basically, and like every Crystal Palace fan just treats their current situation where they're in the Premier League regularly and like competing for trophies They're like, this is house money. What are we worried about?
Exactly. That is pretty much the Crystal Palace mindset at the moment, right? It is very much, yeah, like, this is all just winning, no matter what, like.
Yeah. Even if they were to get relegated at one point, which it looked like it was going to happen, they're just like, we've been relegated. We've had worse than relegation happen to us, Sunshine. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Like, yeah, relegation. Relegation's medication.
Pretty much. Things have stabilized. Their league form looks pretty much like they're not going to be relegated, but we'll get into that. We definitely will get into that. We'll go out in the order, but we have to talk about the managerial stuff just because much of it's happened and it's so weird. Yeah. This seems to be the new manager meta, the meta for new managers. They just try and, like, Maresca did it. He basically pissed off the Chelsea hierarchy by complaining about some valid complaints, to be fair.
To be fair, yes.
Extremely valid criticisms of the ownership group. But also, like, absolutely fireable stuff. Like, I don't blame Chelsea for firing him.
No.
I'm just saying that what he said was not incorrect.
It's like, there was a good reason you got fired. You're also not wrong.
Yeah. Ditto, we had the Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. Yeah. Him saying less accurate stuff because he's been proven absolutely wrong ever since leaving.
Yeah, I think that definitely turned into it was a him problem as opposed to anything else, but...
Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, I don't think, despite how, well, we'll get into it, but despite how bad they were playing, this wasn't a sporting reason that they fired Ruben Amorim. It was pretty much like, stop talking about stop airing our dirty laundry in public, and, and he had to be shown the door.
Yeah.
And he eventually was. His position became untenable. And, like, I think given that fans at Manchester United were still divided about Amorim, given how bad the atmosphere was, shows how, like, Chelsea are a club that, and I think a fan base that get impatient quickly.
Yeah.
With their managers. Like, you guys don't mind that, you get 1 million managers a season. You're just like, wins us trophies, whatever,
Yeah, results-based focus.
Yeah, exactly that. And whereas Manchester United, like, as a fan base and as an ownership group, to be fair, are pretty patient with their managers. Like, David Moyes was still getting cheered on in his last few games for the club. So was Louis van Gaal, even Jose Mourinho. It was like terrible football to watch, but the fans were still like, oh no, Jose will still do it. Like, we believe in him still, really.
Yeah.
So you have to go pretty far before like Ralph Rangnick bad.
Yeah.
When the team were playing really, really bad. Like, before the fans really turn on you. Because also, like, he got a really good endorsement from the owner, who basically went, you got to give him at least 3 years to show his worth. And it's like, okay, in theory, I don't disagree with you, but in practice, I'm like, come on, you don't need 3 years. It's not working.
Yeah, exactly. Like, 3 years is a long time to be like, no, it's in progress, it's working. It's like, this is football. It's the Premier League even. Like, 3 years is too long.
Yeah. No, I would be okay if he was showing certain signs like Mikel Arteta showed in his, his first season at Arsenal. Because Arsenal needed a big revamp and needed to get stuff. And it was something that was going to take a few years to build up. And they showed a lot of patience. Yeah,
but even then, they were getting signs and results, right? They weren't crashing and burning. There was progress being made. There was key milestones being reached. Like, look, this is the you can clearly see the growth, and be like, yeah, you're right, we needed this, and we see where we're going.
Yeah, and ultimately also they won the FA Cup in his first season, so that shows he's got, like, that bought him some time, obviously, and now they're arguably the best team in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's paid off, so that does work. But Ruben Amorim, Eric Ten Hag, he won a trophy in each season he was at the club. So if the club had decided they were going to remain patient with him, I don't know how tenable that was going to be, given that at some point it looked like the club, the team were in relegation form.
Yeah.
But, but the relegation teams got even worse as the season progressed, and Amorim played worse than, Ten Hag. His points per game is lower after taking over from Ten Hag. So it was, really awful. But, there were some highlights. That epic comeback against Lyon in the Champions League quarterfinals, at Old Trafford, where they came back from 4-1 down to win 7-6. One of the craziest nights of football I've ever watched. And then the winning against Manchester City, drawing against Liverpool. So there was bits where I saw, okay, there is, if the team plays to his style and can bring it, he has a version of football that can win games against our top opponents. But that was never the problem. Manchester United are up for playing against the top 6 teams. They drop points against everybody else. Yeah. They're the Robin Hoods of the league. They rob from the rich, give to the poor. It's like, oh, Wolves, you need to be saved from relegation. That's all right. Manchester United's here to save you. Like the Simpsons Lenny meme.
Yeah, don't worry, Wolves. Here's United. They'll give you some points. Just gifted. Here you go.
Here you go. We'll still beat, the relegation teams. Come on. Come on. Yeah. This is Manchester United we're talking about. But, yeah, that was the... both clubs, Rosenior come... ironically, Maresca leaving Chelsea was kind of, got kicked out of the back pages of the news because Manchester United fired Amorim. Literally, Chelsea are phew, nobody's looking at our stuff right now. There's no... the Tifo football podcast literally said oh, we're 40 minutes into recording something about Maresca and Chelsea, and then suddenly we heard oh, Amorim's fired, and we're don't worry about this podcast, no one cares. We don't even need to talk about Chelsea right now.
No longer the news, doesn't matter. Yeah. Chelsea bargain manager, old juice, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so we brought Michael Carrick back. It was this really interesting thing because Michael Carrick had done pretty well at Middlesbrough, but he got fired because he wasn't able to get the club promoted within a few seasons. And I think legit, because Middlesbrough had a good enough team to get promoted out of the Championship, as shown this season, where they look absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Even though they have lost their excellent manager, who is doing awesome stuff at Wolves. Before the end of before our Christmas and December period, we basically wrote off Wolves.
We did.
Yep. We did. And they have, it's not just a new manager bounce. They've destroyed anything I think we thought we knew about the Premier League as a institution. Except we've always said you never bet on Wolves getting relegated. It just never happens.
Yeah, exactly. We have said that, but except at Christmas and December, we're going against this our normal stated of Wolves always survive somehow. To be Wolves are horrible, they're never surviving. They're not even going to get 9 points. It was putting odds on whether they get to 9 points or not. But
and our reason for like the pessimism for Wolves is like, they've also like burned George Mendes's phone number from their black book, so they weren't gonna get like rescued by a bunch of really awesome international stars coming up. But they somehow in January still recruited a bunch of like great young players from lower down the league who've been performing really well for them. And it's like, man, Wolves' DNA is strong.
Yeah.
Like, it's genuinely strong. So I will never underestimate them ever again. I say as I will move on to underestimate them next season.
Exactly.
But let's get right into it. The beginning after the Christmas period, basically the period kind of went as much as we expected it would, and then after like the first week in Jan, everything changed, and Arsenal, who looked very, very comfortable at the top of the league, started to drop points, especially in February. And February is the month for Arsenal where they tend to lose the league. They tend to go on an incredible streak of bad performances and eventually end up bottling the league at some point. It more or less happened like that. Like Manchester City got very, very close. Currently at the top of division, they have a 7-point gap, but City have a game in hand, and if they win that game, they'll only be 4 points behind, and they do face Arsenal later in the season. So Arsenal just cannot afford to drop points going in as we approach down. Looking at the rest. Looking at their upcoming fixtures, it's the Champions League season, so they're going to be playing Leverkusen this month, and they have a game against Everton on Sunday this week, and obviously they have the Carabao Cup at the end of the month. Against Manchester City. Like, one feels like whoever wins that final is going to end up winning the league, right? Like, just feels like an important final to win. Like, all finals are important, of course, but it
does have that feel of potential momentum swing, right? City wins that one, then suddenly, everything seems a little more shakier for Arsenal. A month later they'll be facing City in the league, and that could be quite likely for the title at that point. So given they only have the one league game left for the rest of the month. That's going to be a good chance for them to recover. They do have a bunch of injuries, so their players will be getting a bit of rest, but there is an international break in there where their players will be playing a lot of games. So there's a lot of awareness. What happens when you're a good team? Your players play for your country. That's just bread and butter of this business. They then have an FA Cup match at the beginning of April before they play Bournemouth at home. Once again, it's a tough game, and then they play Arsenal and Newcastle. So until the lead up before May is tough for Arsenal. They've obviously, like I said, they're playing Manchester City, and they do have at the end of the season, like in May, they play Fulham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, and Crystal Palace away. Now, this is a weird relegation season because Burnley look like they're making a comeback too. Like they're playing pretty well right now, and West Ham are playing pretty well right now. So I don't think relegation's going to be done. Like, I do think Crystal Palace at the end of the season, they might already be like in the mood for like, we're saving our fuel for the Conference League final. At that point. But we'll see. Like, Arsenal,
they have a tough run of fixtures. They don't want to drop any points, especially against City. And 20th April, we'll obviously know, I think, who the champions are going to be of the league.
Yeah.
At some point, game at the Etihad is going to be the decider. One just feels that that's just going to happen.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, that's the key one, right? It will. Somebody's going to be ahead after that game, and it's theirs to take. They'll be the ones in control of that from there. And I know we'll get into City's games in a moment, but I don't think either of them really will drop many points after that point. So.
Yeah, and there is a bit of a elephant in the room, because there will be FA Cup fixtures. I do think Arsenal's going to beat Southampton in the FA Cup, and I do believe Arsenal are going to beat Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. Yeah. So they're going to get some. Because of that, their fixture list is going to get more crowded.
Yeah.
Significantly so, as compared to Manchester United have nothing other than league games to worry about. In the top 4, they've got the easiest run in for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Just for that reason. So speaking of the Manchester, we'll go to City. They're playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Always happens, it seems. Real Madrid having a terrible time in the Champions League, but we all know what happens during the knockout rounds. This is the time for Pep Guardiola to take his revenge. He hates losing to Les Blancos, and why wouldn't he? He's a proud Catalan man that he is.
Yeah.
And he's so they're going to play. They play Real over 2 legs this season. They do go down to the London Stadium to play West Ham. West Ham, yes, I have said that they are playing well, but they are not playing well at home. They always play terribly, it seems, at the stadium. So that's probably points for them. And then obviously City play Arsenal and the Carabao Cup, which we just went through. Who can even predict how that's going to happen? It feels like a curtain raiser to the
league.
To the league. Then they play Liverpool in the FA Cup. Now, both Manchester City and Arsenal are still technically able to win a quadruple, which has never happened in the history of English football. In fact, the closest was in that 99 season when Manchester United won the treble. Sir Alex Ferguson played a youth team in the FA Cup final against Villa, who ended up winning.
All right.
So he missed out on a quadruple. Obviously, famously, the Lisbon Lions of Celtic, 1966, won the League, European Cup, Scottish FA Cup, and the Scottish League Cup, all in one season.
Nice, yeah.
So they did the set. We'll see if a team south of the border can do that. It's just really difficult to see this happening. Especially difficult to see it happening for City. They've got Real and they've got Liverpool in their cup games, and Arsenal.
Yeah.
So 3 incredibly tough cup games, and then City go on to play Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, and then Burnley away. All tough fixtures, it looks like, at this point in the season. Then play Everton away, Brentford at home, Bournemouth away, and Aston Villa at home. So of the 2 teams, I would say City have the tougher run-in. So I do, as much as I mock Arsenal and send bottle memes to all my Arsenal fan friends and family, I do think Arsenal are gonna win the league this season finally.
Yeah, I'll say they're in the driver's seat for it, so they should do.
Yeah, after much wailing and gnashing of teeth, that's just what's gonna happen, I feel like.
Yeah. to say.
But I do think City are in a good shot to win the Champions League or the Cups. Like, they're such a good finals team, Pep, and Pep is such a good finals manager. Like, they could do the Cup double, for example.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So there'll be something. I don't think City are going to be trophyless this season.
No.
Next up, we go to the actual Manchester club. Manchester United coming back, playing incredible. Michael Carrick obviously takes over first game, smashes Manchester City, then smashes Liverpool, then smashes Arsenal. You couldn't write it down any better. And actually came back from behind multiple times to win games in those fixtures as well. There's games there's like a lot of regret amongst us United fans thinking about, we lost to teams like Wolves earlier this season and and we couldn't we drew with Tottenham Hotspur, who look like one of the worst teams in the league right now. Whereas once Carrick took over, after the loss to Brighton, they beat City, and they beat Arsenal. I misspoke. They haven't played Liverpool in that time period, but they look like a team that can beat any team right now. This is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Currently, their next game is against Aston Villa. This is basically European spot doubleheader.
Yeah.
United only have 2 games for the rest of this month. There is no excuse for them not to pick up 6 points. They were well rested. The players have all the time in the training ground. Jason Holland, who was the England assistant manager under Gareth Southgate, who is currently Michael Carrick's assistant manager, has been setting up the training sessions, and the style and tactics clearly are coming from him. And it suits the team. They love it. They love to be a high tempo, counter-attacking sort of side. They're not overly defensive, but they also a team that doesn't mind conceding the occasional goal because they think they're always gonna get a goal because they push tempo so much.
Yeah.
They then, obviously, this is the derby, the battle, War of the Roses with Leeds United at home in Old Trafford. United tend to beat Leeds United, so that should be a win. They go away to play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It's a tough game for Chelsea. This is the run-in, because they have so many games coming up. They'll play Manchester United, and then Manchester United host Brentford, who are in really good form.
Yeah.
And the 3rd of May, Manchester United play Liverpool. This is the thing, it's the opposite for other teams, but Manchester United prefer to play teams right now like Chelsea, like Liverpool, like Arsenal, City, because those are the sort of teams where they don't get as much of the ball and they counter, and I think that's what they want.
Yeah.
Whereas it's much harder for them to break down teams lower down the league and get points. Speaking of breaking down teams, Sunderland also next game for United, and then they host Forest, and then they go to Brighton and Hove. United have a bad record against Brighton since they came back. There was some jokes about United making a comeback to win the league, just for fun. But if you weren't a crazy man, all we have is vibes at United right now, so we may as well enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy those vibes.
All my teams this season, all we have is vibes. Apart from the Warriors, we're gonna win it all, obviously.
It's our season, man.
It is our season.
Warriors. It's definitely happening.
That's gone. But speaking of the Red Devils, this seems like they're gonna finish top 4 very easily, and they should. There's no every team around them has fixture hell coming up, and they should be able to deal with most of their top 4 rivals. And worst case, they'll finish 5th and still qualify because of the coefficient. There's currently 6 teams from England in the Champions League. Surely coefficients are favoring the FA, and I would be very shocked if we didn't have at least one Europa League team in the semi-finals at least, and at least exactly. a semi-final appearance from Crystal Palace in the Conference League. And realistically, Palace should be reaching a final because they're really have nothing else to play for this season.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's actually it's not outside the realms of just straight normality that England will have their full complement of European spots or European teams next year, or teams in Europe next year, without a Conference League team because they're filled up everywhere else. That does require Crystal Palace to win the Conference League to go to the Europa, and more importantly, someone outside the top 5 to win the Champions League. But Spurs
could be Newcastle, could be Spurs.
Yeah.
And Nottingham Forest could win the Europa
League.
And unfortunately, whoever wins the League Cup will finish in the top 4. That's just going to happen. Otherwise, you could have a League Cup winner who qualifies directly for the Conference League, who's not in the top 4. So, looking at Aston Villa's schedule, they face Lille in the next round of the Europa League. Once again, I would be very shocked if Villa don't win. They're even with a weakened side or a lower tier side, Villa's physicality, they're playing away. Even if they play for play defensively, which they're very good at, don't concede, and even if they lose 1-0, I'm sure back in the return fixture at Villa Park, they can definitely do the business against Lille, who are not in the best of form in Ligue 1 right now. They play Manchester United literally 3 days after Villa, so a lot will depend on... This is why I'm it's tough for Villa, right? 3 days after United. And United can basically waltz through the rest of the league. They're absolutely gunning to play top 6 teams because they're all playing in Europe and are in the, business end of the cups right now. So this is their Villa's issue. Then they have a Midlands derby with Nottingham Forest at the Forest Ground. Then they go to they host Sunderland at Villa Park, and then they go to Fulham, which is a tough fixture, and then they host Tottenham, which is a freebie. It just is.
It is. No, it very much is.
They then go away to Burnley, which could be a tough game because Burnley are still fighting, and then they play Liverpool, at which point this could be a top 4 derby, right? To finish for the Champions League spot if Villa aren't in the business end of the Europa League. I do think Villa will at least make the final. Unai Emery is just a Europa League specialist. And then they play Manchester City at the end of the day. This is the thing. This is why I think Arsenal are going to win the league, and I think Manchester United will finish 3rd. I don't think they're going to finish 2nd. I don't think they're too many points behind right now. I think it's just the run-in is just so much easier for both of those teams.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, but I do think Villa are going to go far in the Europa League. They are my favorite to win.
Easily.
So I think either way they'll be in the Champions League. Even if they somehow finish 6th, they'll be in the Champions League, I think. If they, because that'll mean 7 teams in the Champions League. So 6 teams in the Champions. Yeah, 6 teams in the Champions.
6 teams. Yeah.
Unless, and 7 teams if a team that's outside the top 5 wins the Champions League.
Yeah, Tottenham wins the Champions League.
Yeah, Tottenham or I guess Newcastle.
Oh yeah, they're still there. Yeah, fair.
Then we move to Chelsea, who are also in the Champions League.
Yeah.
It should be said. So like Chelsea have a tough run in because of so many fixtures that they've got coming up. They play Paris Saint-Germain home and back, and PSG already look like they're going to win Ligue 1, so this is a really tough fixture for them, especially the start off go to Paris, and then they host Newcastle, a team that they always lose to at Stamford Bridge. Like, it just happens, right? Like, I'm not even...
No, yeah, I'm going to come back to it. It's just true.
Newcastle are your bogey team, and then they go to...
We did manage to just draw with them 2-2 over the Christmas period, where we made this exact same prediction of, unfortunately, Chelsea, that's bogey team. I'm pretty sure we came back from 2-0 down on that one. So, you know, maybe, just maybe we're springing someone's back.
We'll see, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I'm just coping, man. It's fine.
Looking at the next fixtures, they play Port Vale in the FA Cup, which they should win, with all due respect to the Valiants. Then they host Manchester City, and then they host Manchester United. Yeah. 2 tough games at Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea are a really ill-disciplined team, and City and Manchester United are teams that absolutely monster ill-disciplined teams. Like, they get given penalties all the time.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the business end of Chelsea's fixture. Like, it'll decide if they can get 4 points from those 2 fixtures. I think that might cement their top 4.
Yeah.
But it's really tough, and then they go away to Brighton. Once again, pretty tough, even though Brighton aren't having the best season. Then they host Forest, who are probably still going to be in the middle of that relegation battle.
Yeah.
Then they play away to at Anfield, and Liverpool will still probably be competing for a spot in the Champions League at that point. Also, like Chelsea, Chelsea will still have FA Cup fixtures in May. Yeah. Ideally, they'll be playing in a final in May, right? Yeah. Like, that's...
And hopefully we'll have Champions League fixtures through there as well, so...
Yeah, so it's very... it's a very rough... Like, also, like, the only potential upside for you guys is Liverpool are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
At that point. Then you host Spurs, which should be a win.
Points for us,
Spurs just never seem to win at Stamford Bridge. And then you go away to Sunderland. Like, that feels like a banana peel fixture.
Yeah, but at the same time, it should be. I mean, those last 2 weeks should be 6 points. The issue will just be where the team's attention is at that point. Whether it's on, some cup finals, or whether we're out of those, in which case, if our attention's slipping to other games, then maybe there's points dropped over those last 2 weekends. But I feel like that should still end strongly, those last 2 weeks.
Chelsea do tend to end strongly since in the Blueco era, so I do think May they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Especially in the cups. Then we go to the team that's on the same points as them, the defending champions, Liverpool, playing Galatasaray home and away. And obviously Galatasaray are no easy team, but they're not the force they used to be in European football. Liverpool and the English teams have gotten used to playing in Turkey. Also, their fixture, they get 5 days, which is really good for them to then go play Tottenham Hotspur. So, like, definitely a good month for Liverpool to recover and make a comeback. And Liverpool tend to do well against Brighton. So this could be a good month for Liverpool. Then they immediately play City in the FA Cup. So one of these 2 teams at the top end are going to miss out. Probably Liverpool, because they're going to want to try, and they're probably not going to play a full strength team. They want to try and cement Champions League positions, because they're well within it. they host Fulham, who are not a easy team to beat. Then they go to Everton in their new stadium. This is going to be the first time Everton host them. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah.
I can't, we'll see how it turns out. Like, I do think Everton are gonna win that game, unfortunately for Liverpool, and they're gonna host Crystal Palace, which is a game I think they should win. And then they go to Old Trafford. They haven't won there in ages, and Manchester United are up for playing top 6 teams, and hopefully by then Patrick Dorgu will be back. From a Manchester United perspective, will be back for the team. So that's, they're going to be they're gonna, and Liverpool have a bunch of injury issues already to deal with right now. So I think United will win that game against Liverpool, and then the Liverpool play Chelsea at home. Tough game for Chelsea. Stamford at Anfield tends not to be a ground you guys win at once again. Liverpool then play Villa away. Liverpool tends to play badly at Villa Park. Then they host Brentford, who are having a great season and could still finish potentially in 5th place.
Yeah, potentially.
They're within it. Then they host Sunderland, and they host... so that's the last game. Brentford is the last. The other two are friendlies. Whoops. But I was wondering... what happened and why were they hosting Wrexham? But and Liverpool, you think, will definitely make the next round of the Champions League in the quarterfinals. So there will be games in April for them to play around then. And there's no easy games in the quarterfinals. Even if they, quote unquote, this is me putting in quotation marks, even if they have to face Bodo Glimt, it's not easy. Bodo Glimt are giant killers, certified giant killers right now.
Certified,
so it's a very tough run of fixtures for all the teams that are in Europe right now.
But Liverpool, you say 3 of the last 4 weeks against the others that they'll be battling off against for those last couple of Champions League spots, right? So mostly they're away from home though, which makes it harder for Liverpool. Like, they go to Old Trafford, they go to Villa Park, they're only hosting Chelsea at Anfield. So
Brentford, which could also be competing for a European spot at that point,
potentially
against Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly.
Brentford are obviously the most behind the 8 ball when it comes to potentially qualifying for Champions League, but they're definitely up there for getting into a Europa League or a Conference League. Whoever finishes 7th, I think, is guaranteed to be in the Conference League this season. And 6th place will... and if somehow Crystal Palace don't win the Conference, and I think Brentford are in the Europa League and Everton get the Conference League spot. Because England's guaranteed to have at least 2 Europa League teams. So that's all to play for the Busy Bees.
Yes.
Yeah. And they start off their campaign. The next game they play will be against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brentford are in a similar position to Manchester United. They don't have any cup fixtures to worry about. It's all in the league for them to play for. To play Wolves at home, that's a game they should win. I do think Wolves are improving their form, but Brentford are really good, and they don't tend to lose to teams below them in the table. They get their points. Then they play Leeds away, another game I think they should win. Hosting Everton is a tricky fixture. That has draw written all over it. Then they host Fulham, local derby over there. And on the southwest derby for them, but I do think Brentford at home are probably too strong, and then they face Man United away. That's the test for Michael Carrick. I think Manchester United are gonna win. It's at Old Trafford, and once again, they're 2 teams that are equally fresh right now.
Yeah.
But I do think Manchester United's squad is better, though, and potential right now, coaching-wise as well, they're probably just ahead of Brentford. Though, given Keith Andrews so far Coach of the Year in the Premier League, given he was just their throw-ins coach last season and he's been promoted.
Yes, that is a good point. And definitely a good shout for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, not even their set-piece coach, their throw-ins coach.
Yeah, their throw-ins coach. Yeah, that's crazy.
So then we go to, they then host West Ham. I think another game they should win. Then they go away to Manchester City. I don't think they're going to win that game. They host Crystal Palace, a game they should win. And at that point, I think they'll be competing with Everton and Liverpool for like that 6th, 7th sort of spot. So going away to Liverpool, I do think Liverpool will just edge them out, but who knows, if they've got a Champions League final coming up, they may not play a full-strength team against Brentford, especially if they're already out from getting a top 4 spot.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to preserve Champions League spot as much as you can, wherever possible. Paraphrasing George R.R. Martin, avoid incest at all costs, wherever possible.
I don't know if that's paraphrasing him. I don't think he's ever said anything like that.
No, he's directly actually said that. He's like, always remember, avoid incest at all costs, wherever possible.
Has he read his own books?
Yeah, he says, just because I write it in my books doesn't mean I condone it in real life.
Fair enough.
But I think it says something about George R.R. Martin that he always has to clarify. That's his position.
Once again, as he read his own books, that's why he has to clarify.
Yep. Moving on from to the next team, just because I think this is the final team that's in with a shout for a European spot on the table. Everton, the blue team of Merseyside, they play Arsenal away. Really tough fixture. Then they host Chelsea. Once again, a fixture like a team like Everton bring out the worst in Chelsea. I just feel like that's just the way it is, especially when they're playing Everton at home. It's not Goodison, it's not yet built the aura, but it is a brand new, beautiful stadium that they have.
Yeah.
They then go away to Brentford, a game that's probably tough for them. I have picked that would be a draw. Then they host Liverpool, which I do think they're going to win, even though David Moyes doesn't have the best record against Liverpool as a manager when managing Everton. But he then gets a revenge game against West Ham United. I'm sure the fans will give him a great applause when he goes to the London Stadium. I do think Everton are going to win that game. I can see them giving Manchester City trouble at home because this is an opportunity for Everton to finish above Liverpool this season. It's a realistic opportunity. And what a way to welcome in the new stadium. They actually finish above their hated rivals. Then they go down to Crystal Palace, a game they can and definitely should win. Host Sunderland, and then, once again, a game they should win, and Spurs, a game they should win. So Everton, I think, are a team that should be considered a favorite to finish in a European spot. And Brentford. Just because fixture congestion is not going to hit them as hard as it will hit Liverpool and Chelsea, for that matter, or Villa, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. And whilst they are playing, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City during that time, they're playing all of them at home. In the new stadium, so that gives them probably the best chances there. Then their away fixtures, Brentford, West Ham, Crystal Palace, aren't horrendous ones. They can definitely win those. So definitely can win those.
looking on the other side of the table, like, with all due respect to Bournemouth, Fulham, Sunderland, Newcastle, and Crystal Palace and Brighton and Hove Albion, I don't think any of you guys are getting relegated.
No.
Too many points in the bank, and I think none of you guys are gonna finish in the top 6.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
Looking at, or potentially even the top 7. So, but just a little hint to Newcastle, because they do have a Champions League fixture against Barcelona. Newcastle, Champions League is all they're playing for, so I would not count them out in that fixture against Barca. And they can win in Europe. They've got some, had some great Champions League nights, especially with both Eddie Howe and back in the day with Brian Robson. In fact, that is one of the great what ifs of football, because on the last day of 2003, I think Newcastle lost their final game, and they finished 5th, and Chelsea finished 4th, and Roman Abramovich ended up buying Chelsea instead of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Imagine how that would have gone. I don't think Roman Abramovich would have fired Sir Bobby Robson.
Well, probably not.
He's a champion, and he's won so much already, as a coach.
And to be fair, that would have met Abramovich's desire to have a top, international, superstar coach, or manager.
And he gave Claudio Ranieri a season to prove himself.
Exactly.
And unfortunately for Claudio, it was not to be. Though he would end up, getting an unforgettable season with Leicester, right? So
exactly.
Well, that ends well at the end of the day.
Exactly.
If Claudio had won a Premiership with Chelsea before winning it with Leicester, it would have been less impactful, to his legacy, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Whereas now he's this legendary manager who took Leicester to, it just makes that fairy tale so much more fairy tale.
It's a much better story. Yeah,
and it was his first ever trophy. He finally won one. So let's go to the relegation table. Now, Christmas in December, we said Burnley and Wolves, count them out. And we said West Ham, count them out. Count them out. West Ham have basically hammered their way, pun fully intended, up the table, breaking into the ceiling to try and smash Nottingham Forest and Tottenham Hotspur and Leeds to break themselves in. Looking at their schedule, West Ham's issue is their home form is absolutely terrible. And it's very difficult for them to find ways to win at home. Their fixtures next, they play against City and then West Ham, Villa away and City at home. 2 games they absolutely feel like they're gonna lose. The only thing is Villa will both these teams will be playing Champions League, so who knows the type of teams they'll put up, but they're not going to beat City at home. I don't think. That's just not going to happen. They've got a relegation 6-pointer against Leeds. This is where I think they're going to turn things around. I do think West Ham are going to beat Leeds in the FA Cup, and that's going to give them the confidence for the rest of the season. Then they play, this is the real relegation 6-pointer, because they play Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves are in great form. They've played pretty well in most of their games since the new year, since Rob Edwards has taken over. But I think West Ham are a team with momentum. I think they're going to push with Nuno especially coming back to his old team in Wolves. I think West Ham are going to win that game at home. Then they play Crystal Palace away. It's a tricky fixture. I do think Palace, this might be a draw for them. And then hosting Everton. Once again, it's a game they could draw. Going away to Brentford is the interesting game. That could be a game where they could sneak in a point, and West Ham then host Arsenal. Now, I know they play terrible at home, but wouldn't West Ham love to beat Arsenal and help the bottle job happen?
Yeah. There could be a place where the bottle happens, right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a match to watch, especially if Arsenal have more injuries and they are going to be full up. They've played Carabao Cup final. They've got FA Cup games to look forward to. So we'll see what sort of team they're playing against West Ham. Then, actually, it could even be the opposite. At this point, maybe Arsenal's more or less guaranteed the league. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, that would be after the Arsenal versus City game. So, anything could be on the cards there.
Yeah, like they win the League Cup, then they beat City at, in that league fixture. You're like, these guys are in. They're champions elect at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And then, so West Ham could sneak in a point. Then they play Newcastle, who are a team we've just said have nothing to lose. They could be in the Champions League at this point. And so there's a potential for them to win there. And then they play Leeds. And this could be a relegation 6-pointer that decides who finishes 17th. Entirely plausible, because Leeds have a really tough run-in for the rest of their fixtures. So I've written off Wolves and Burnley. But look, Wolves and Burnley are not actually going to get promoted, okay?
They're not staying up, no. They're definitely going down. We should think of a forfeit if we're wrong about this. If Burnley or Wolves manage to stay up, what's the forfeit we can do? I don't know. Yeah, we do need to come up with one. Have a think on a forfeit and we can put it up. But like that is, especially Wolves. What's that? They are 12 points from safety. 15 goals at the same time with 8 games left for them. So that's a tough ask for them to pull off that great escape.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for anyone, let alone Wolves.
Yeah.
So with the complete of respect, because I do respect what your team has done so far this season, given where you had started. I don't see either Burnley or Wolves not being relegated. West Ham, I'm going to make a prediction. I do think West Ham are going to stay up. They just have momentum on their side, right? Like it feels that way.
Exactly.
Looking at so let's just go to the other side of that relegation table. Looking at Leeds United, they play Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park, which is a tough game because Palace still are not clear. This would pretty much cement them staying up. They then host Brentford, which is a tough game for them, and then they play in the FA Cup against West Ham. We'll see what sort of teams they put out and there, and then they go play Manchester United away, and Leeds will play against Wolves, which is a relegation 6-pointer. And technically, by this point, Wolves will probably not be mathematically relegated yet. And they're playing for pride. They don't care, right? They clearly are playing like a team that don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saying
they have nothing to lose, so they play hard.
Exactly. They're playing for pride. It's not about anything now, but just being like, we are Wolves and we're going out fighting. They're
basically playing for the culture that they're gonna do in the this Wolves team, if they get relegated, and like this Wolves team when they get relegated, next season in the Championship, potentially are a team that are just going to get 100 points. They're that good. And they're managed so well, and like their scouting is really, really good. So I think, and they're doing all the right stuff, right? They're not giving up. They're still playing hard and doing their best. So I do. I think it'll be. They'll be there next season in the Championship, getting promoted straight back up, and actually cement their stay in the Premier League, staying back up. The Leeds then also play against Burnley, who are also like a team that aren't giving up. Scott Parker has basically just kept the team fighting, and like he's become a promotion specialist as well. So I think we could expect that he's going to stay with the team, and once again they're going to play in the Championship next season. It's a team that I do think are probably not going to get relegated. They just have the DNA is too good. They know how to get promoted back out of the Championship, and they're also playing hard. They haven't conceded 3 goals this season, other than the game that was that finished 4-4 against Brentford. So the team also has goals in them for Burnley. So we'll see. So like, and you know I don't think they'll be mathematically relegated yet at this point, though they will end up being relegated. Now this is the big fixture, Leeds versus Spurs. I think this is the game that'll decide. If Spurs can beat Leeds in this game, Leeds are getting relegated.
I think that's fair.
Unfortunately for Leeds, I think both Spurs and Nottingham Forest squads are better. The only thing that is in Nottingham Forest's disadvantage is that they are playing in Europe this season still. And then Leeds have like a game against West Ham at the end of the season. Once again, that's a relegation 6-pointer. So they have their game, they have their fate in their own hands, which also is bad for them, because this end of the season is where usually the quality bears out, especially in the relegation battle.
Exactly.
The Daniel Falker, I do think Leeds are going to be relegated, because I think at the end of the day, Spurs are going to make a comeback for the rest of the season. There's just too much quality in Spurs, in my opinion. And I think it'll be reasonably, they'll get, especially as they play and win, if they can play and win games in Europe, then, you know, that's just going to bring morale back to their team. Looking at Spurs, they do have 4 games this season. They're playing Atletico Madrid home and away. This is the thing, all the English teams seem to have like their European opponents away first, which is I think to their advantage. And then they host Liverpool. They play away to Liverpool. That's a game they could probably maybe play weaker side, because they have so many injuries at Spurs. Let their players recover, and then try and win that second leg in against Atletico, because they're not going to qualify for the whether they get relegated or not. They're going to qualify for the Champions League other than through winning the Champions League. Then they play Nottingham Forest at home. Once again, they could probably cement survival by winning this game.
We'll at least take a whole heap of pressure off by winning that game.
And they follow up with an away fixture against Sunderland. I think Sunderland are pretty much, guaranteed not to be relegated. So this is a game where if they could even get in a point, like a draw, and maybe a point in their next game against Brighton, then that game against Wolves, at that point, Wolves may already be mathematically relegated.
Probably.
And so maybe Wolves are just playing with gusto and thing.
Yeah,
and Spurs look terrible. Like, I'm putting up a brave front for like Spurs fans, but I genuinely think Spurs or Leeds, one of these two, are getting relegated. Like, it's between the two of these guys. Spurs have Champions League football. Their European fixtures are harder, and Spurs look bad. They look like it would be like, I despise Leeds United, but I think it would be unfair if Leeds United got relegated because they haven't played badly.
I mean,
like,
Spurs haven't won in the
Spurs
Premier League.
Deserve to be relegated based on how they're playing.
Yeah, Tottenham haven't won in the Premier League this year.
Yeah.
They've won Champions League games, but they haven't won in the Premier. They haven't won the Premier League. They haven't won in England.
Yeah.
This year, a few draws in there, but and the last point they picked up in England was at the beginning of February, which was the 2-2 draw with Man City. But
yeah. It's a very, very it's been a very, very bad 2026 for Tottenham Hotspur. Like, unless I see like something different against Liverpool, they're not playing like a team that deserves to stay in the league.
No.
Like, there's been people like going like, I think Spurs need to be relegated. Like, they'll have a bunch of their players will get sold, but they do have a young core, and they're gonna get straight back up. They're gonna get 100 points probably next season at the championship if they do get relegated. It'll be fun. No VAR, Yeah. And they will go in, and I think, with Robbie Keane coming back in and leading the team, we'll just see Spurs get that Spurs DNA and get them back up.
So I'm sort of with you what you said before, like, the Spurs squad is too good to go down. Like, you think they should be able to eke out the points they need, but
I am literally basically basing this on reputation and nothing else. Like, there's no reason why Spurs should stay up, other than, like, on paper their squad is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to everybody else around them. And look, they're Europa League champions. They're playing in the Champions League. Come on.
Yeah. How are they doing this bad?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Then they play against Aston Villa, who are obviously competing for Europe at that point. So that's a tough game. Then they host Leeds. This is the thing. This is the game that's going to decide who gets relegated. This is the game. Leeds United in 10th May, and then they play away to Stamford Bridge. That's going to be a loss.
Yeah.
And they host Everton, maybe final day, if they can sneak in a draw or a win.
It is at home, so yeah.
They can maybe go ahead and remain safe. Like, I feel like Leeds are gonna be relegated, but but I'll say right now, Spurs deserve to be relegated.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, as you say, you can't play this badly and somehow stay up. It's And it's not like they were that much better in the first half of the year, or first half of the season.
Yeah.
So
the next team in the league is Nottingham Forest. Like, this is the team that I do think Nottingham Forest are not going to be relegated. Their fixtures, they play Midtjylland home and away. They host Midtjylland first in the Forest ground in the Europa League. I do think Forest are going to win that game quite easily.
Yeah.
They then host Fulham, which is going to be a tough fixture, but they could easily sneak in a point there. And then they go away to play Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This is the game. If I think Forest are going to win this game. They're just more used to the dogfight, and Spurs look like they have no fight. But we'll see. It'll really depend on how what the injury status is for Spurs and also how their European fixtures went. I think if Spurs lose to Atletico, home and away, then they're going to be demoralized when they play Forest at home.
Yeah. I think that's the key game for Forest. Like, you're saying Leeds, you're saying that Forest should stay up, but like I think Forest is in the shaky position, and well, I know we haven't got through the rest of their matches, but like they don't have the easiest of run-ins.
Yeah.
They've got Burnley, we'll get to, I know, in a couple of weeks after Spurs. That's basically their relegation battles. So that's like difficult for them, that they're not playing like everybody else is playing the other relegation contenders. Forest is not. Yeah.
But there is the thing, like I'll go down in the fixture list, like one of the reasons why I think they'll do better is like they're playing Villa, which is, that's going to be a tough game, but that is at home, playing a then and Villa at that point could be pretty spent, like they might just be focusing on the Europa League to try and compete. Like especially because they do have a bunch of injuries as well. They host Burnley. Look at Burnley are playing for pride and they're playing really well. But I do think Forest are just still gonna But Burnley aren't winning games. They're drawing a lot of games, so they're not winning games.
Yeah.
So I do think Forest are gonna get a favorable result against Burnley. They'll probably when they play Sunderland at that point of the season, Sunderland's probably safe. So even though they're playing away, that is a good opportunity for them to once again at least get a draw against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah.
They're hosted by Chelsea. This is like Chelsea are going to be I know you guys have a deep and wide squad because you have so many players, but there's so many games. Just at this point of the season, Forest, sure, they'll be playing in the Europa League, but compare like how good Forest is. Like Forest can play a relatively second-tier version of their team in Europe, in the Europa League, and win games, whereas Chelsea have to put their best team in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's unput.
I know what you're saying. I still think Chelsea's got too deep a squad and too many good players to be worried about Forest at home, other than just straight complacency, and Chelsea are very good at dropping those sort of points. Yeah,
I'm more thinking at this point of the season Chelsea might be in an FA Cup final and might be resting players, or they might be in the semi-final of the Champions League.
Hopefully. I know what you mean. Like we will be having, we did discuss it, so we went through them. They could be having quite a congestion of fixtures at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, still I would think Chelsea should be good enough to beat at home, to beat a Forest side. Yeah, even if we're putting out our third string side.
Yeah. Then they host Newcastle, who looks at, if they're in the Champions League at this point, Newcastle's playing for Champions League, right? They're not really worried much about their league position. It's not going to be Europe.
And that's the big difference there, right? Newcastle won't be, they will be outside of any chance of getting to a Champions League spot as well, whilst Chelsea will still be battling for that top 4 spot. And plus Forest is hosting Newcastle as opposed to going away to Stamford Bridge, so
this is a game this is a potential good opportunity for 3 points. They go away to Old Trafford. Manchester United might be chasing second place at that point. Like finishing above City is definitely something for United. So they're, and like United, Michael Carrick still is like on his doing an interview to get them a job, right? So he's gonna want to try and win this game against Forest at home, but they then play Burnley at home, Bournemouth at home. So if they're not safe by then, Bournemouth have nothing to play for. They're not.
No, it's a good fixture to end on for Forest. So
there's like 2 very good 6 points for them in that last month, which is where I'm like, this is where it's tough for Leeds and Spurs and West Ham.
Yeah, I say my only thought is it's only really the 2 matches that are the 6 pointers, whilst like Leeds and West Ham have got like 3 or 4 of them, and even Tottenham's got 3 or 4 of them as well. Like that makes it harder for Forest, though. on the plus side, they do have some fixtures at the end there. Newcastle, Bournemouth, both at home. Sunderland away is tough, but once again, Sunderland's not playing for anything at that point in time. Forest are playing for something, get a point,
And Burnley at home as well.
Yeah, so the 2 6-pointers is good, and one of them against Burnley being at home. Probably better if they're playing Spurs at home as well, but probably if I was Forest would probably at this point in time with the battle as it is have those reversed, Spurs at home, Burnley away, but still, like that. Spurs earlier on, as you say, the good thing there is they're playing Spurs in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
That's,
And Spurs after they will have played against Champions League opposition.
Yeah, exactly. So, Spurs they're unlikely to have shaken off whatever's afflicting them at the moment. So that's a good chance to get some points there to further inflict pain on Tottenham. But, obviously that's the key fixture for Tottenham right in this, to avoiding relegation. Pick up the points there, turn the season around, move on. So...
Yeah. Now, what are your predictions? Who are you predicting to get relegated? Are you agreeing with me with Wolves and Burnley? Let's just write them off.
Yeah, just write them off. I don't think this.
With the greatest of respect.
Yeah, and Burnley's got to find. They've only got to find 9 points, but still, a good part of the. Was it 10, 11 goals? With those 9 points, are more like 10 points. Wolves is just too far. I think we can write them off. I'm happy to say, despite them doing better since the Christmas and December podcast than we predicted, they were so far behind that it didn't really matter. They're still going down.
Yeah.
And then third one, I don't know. I look at it and go Leeds have got the most points to keep ahead, but I just don't feel it for them. West Ham, I feel it. Spurs,
also, you gotta
I feel
remember,
it.
Nottingham Forest still have Chris Wood.
And Forest still have Chris Wood. I'm on that train, bandwagon that, Forest don't go down Chris Wood doesn't go down, and he's still on their books. I don't think he's back and playing yet, is he? Still injured. He should be back for the World Cup for us. Touch wood.
Yeah.
So there is that, but he's not playing for them to keep it up.
Yeah. But even if he's back mid-April, that would be really big.
Yeah.
For Forest.
Yeah, so...
Whereas Leeds don't have a player like that coming up. They had Rafinha a few seasons ago when they were in the Premier League. They don't have someone like that.
No, they don't. They do have 3 points on that relegation battle, though. So,
that is the big thing. Points on the board is points on the board.
Exactly. So it takes a lot. I still think it's probably going to be Leeds. I think West Ham's got too much. I think Tottenham's got too much. I think Forest is just Forest. And they'll find a way to keep that 17th spot. And United go down. Yeah, Leeds United go down.
Yep, I agree. So those are our things for the Premier League. You and I both think it'll be Arsenal winning the league. Yeah, City second.
Yeah, I'm failing to see City doing it. I really want them to, just because it's funny for Arsenal to bottle it yet again from such a position of dominance as well. Probably the furthest ahead they've been. If they could bottle this, it's just peak. But once again, I think they've just got out to too much of a lead. It's too much for even City to overcome. And City are the experts at just grinding out wins at the end of the season and gaining those points and winning Premier Leagues, right? But
absolutely,
I don't see it. Arsenal's going to take it.
I believe so. City probably second, barring any sort of points deduction.
Yes.
Stuff. Obviously, if City get deducted 60 points, we're absolutely putting them in the third team to be relegated.
So I wouldn't put it off them also being dog 60 points right now and then still somehow staying up. So
yeah. There. So the Manchester United probably third, just because they've got such an easy run in.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to that. I still hold out hope that Chelsea somehow wins all their matches and comes high up, but yeah, United definitely has the much easier fixtures for the end of the season.
And then the fourth place, I do think it'll be Chelsea. I think it's going to push up. But I do think Aston Villa are going to finish fifth.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And Chelsea, we've definitely, this year, we've played a lot better than what we were at the tail end of last year. Rosinha's turned some corners here. We've played all, I think we've played all we need to do against Arsenal, who seem to be the team that have our number. So, I think, and Aston Villa seems to be just running out of steam. So I think
they are
Chelsea.
running out of steam. Like it's unfortunate for Villa. They don't have the PSR. They're not going to be able to have as deep a squad, especially not as deep a squad as Chelsea.
Yes.
So I think fifth is a very creditable position. I do not think they're going to win the Europa League. I do think it's going to be, unfortunately for them, Forest. Just because I think they're going to start picking up points on their side of the table, especially if they have Chris Wood to play in European games come the business end of the season. Aston Villa just don't look like a team that's going to score. That's the issue.
I mean, they've just run out of that steam, right? That's part of it. They're just starting to not look like they've got it there. Beginning of the season, great. Now it's just like something's just starting to get lost. Yeah,
I think sixth place. This is my surprise pick. I think Everton are going to make it up to sixth.
Ooh.
And Liverpool will finish seventh, but they are going to win a cup. They're either going to win the FA Cup or the Champions League. I don't know which one, but they're going to win one of them. I just feel it. Like, this is just what's going to happen. So Liverpool will still end up in the Champions League next season.
Fair call. I think Liverpool in sixth. I don't think Everton or Brentford will be able to pull that back. I know Liverpool's got a little bit of tough fixtures, but I mean they've got those points at the moment, and they're still looking relatively good. So I think Liverpool stays sixth. Between Everton and Brentford for seventh, and though that will likely be a which one of them gets Europa and which one of them gets probably still conference at this point, even if lower ranked sides are winning higher up. Sure, I think you're right. Everton might just pip through Brentford.
I think if Crystal Palace win the Conference League, then only the sixth place team is guaranteed a Europa League spot.
No, they must have at least two. No, they'd have two, assuming the coefficients give 5 Champions League spots. Then there's always 2 Europa League spots, assuming the 2 cups go to the top 4.
No, so I think the Europa, because if Crystal Palace won the Conference League, they go to the Europa League next season.
Yeah, but I think that just gives them 3. Like they still have the cup.
That's not what happened with Chelsea winning the Conference League this season. Well, I guess they won. They went into the Champions League. Yeah. We'll see how that works out. But I think they don't, because that would give them something like 9 teams in Europe.
Yeah. So they must. I think then they would drop. If that comes up, I think that's where the Conference League spot drops out, and they don't get a Conference League spot. So you can only have 8 teams. If the 8th team happens to be Europa League, then So I think that will be what happens. It will drop out the Conference League.
Yeah, it would be interesting if there was a different team that won the League Cup, because it's the League Cup winner that's first. Right.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not sure what happens then if something else. If it was possible for the in this case it's going to be Arsenal City, but if it was someone outside the top 8 that won the League Cup, what would happen then?
But either way, I think you're right. I think if they do end up with 3 and they don't have a conference league, which is good because, like, you know, English teams kind of get like an easy run to win the conference league.
I think having English teams in the conference league is sort of ruining the whole point of the conference league, right? It had to be
exactly.
like, hey, let's have a chance for non-big nation teams to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And yes, the lower ranked, Spanish and German teams are still, and even the German and the Spanish teams tend to not dominate as much. The English teams and the Italian teams tend to be a little bit too strong, I think, but...
Crystal Palace have a bigger operating budget than Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
Like, not Bayern Munich, obviously, because Bayern Munich are a super club, and any club in Serie A. Just openly, like PSR-wise.
Yeah.
And they, other than Barcelona and Real Madrid, more than any club in La Liga.
Oh, right, yeah. That's crazy, then.
So, those are the... And forget Ligue 1, right? Like, other than PSG, obviously, there's like...
Yeah, there is that. The fact that there's just so much money in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of Europe, if we just review the various fixtures before we go, we have Galatasaray and Liverpool. I think we think Liverpool's going to win this one. We pretty much predicted as much. This is a pretty easy round of 16 fixture for them. Bayern Munich playing Atalanta. Like, with all due respect to Atalanta, Bayern Munich look amazing. Yeah. Like, the second best team in Europe. Atletico Madrid against Tottenham Hotspur. It is like, for Spurs' sake, they should lose this fixture and focus on the league. Like, genuinely... But I think they're going to win somehow.
Yeah. I still like the idea of the most Spursy thing being them winning the Champions League and getting relegated.
Yeah. And Newcastle then host Barcelona. I think Barcelona last season looked like one of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah.
This season, there's some teething issues, and it is an election year at Barca. It always tends to be bad for them in an election year. Though it does look like their current president, Johan, I can't remember his surname, is going to win quite easily because he's basically put them through dark times and got them onto the other side. I do think this is like the Bobby Robson derby, Barcelona versus Newcastle. Everything in my brain says Barcelona should win, but I feel like Newcastle can win this. They've got nothing else to play for. Push it out. They're a tough team to break down. Newcastle are the sort of team that's Barcelona's worst nightmare.
Yeah. I think you're right. Like, Newcastle got nothing else to play for, right? So, who knows? And the first leg's at Newcastle, so... Yeah. Throw the kitchen sink at it. See what happens. Get 2 goals.
Exactly.
Anything could happen.
Absolutely. The next one, Bayer Leverkusen against Arsenal. Unfortunately for Leverkusen, I do think Arsenal are going to win that game.
Yeah.
Then the game of the round, Bodo Glimt versus Sporting CP.
Yeah.
Todd, Bodo, I think they're going to win. Sporting look terrible in the Portuguese league at the moment. There's loads of controversy, especially with... that was Benfica who had the controversy with Real Madrid. Vinny and Mourinho. Though Mourinho has come back, we should always have some Mo news in our football podcast. That if the player who allegedly said racial slurs to Vinicius Jr., if he finds out that actually happened, this guy is never playing for Mourinho ever again.
Wow.
He says, till I have the proof, I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt because he's my player, but, you know, If it turns out he is, I'm absolutely. But he said some really effed up things to Vinicius Jr. Like when Vinicius complained about the. Clearly, given that Mbappe's verified what he said.
Yeah.
And he's covering his mouth with his jersey. Why would you do that if you're not?
Yeah. Trying to hide something. It's not like you go around like just like lifting your jersey up all the time and speaking like that. I'm not sure I see everybody doing that on the field.
Even if he said something messed up, like you're the son of a whore or something, like, that's still not something that'll get you banned, right? Like, you're not going to censor that yourself for saying that.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, he's obviously he got target racial abuse, and then Real basically smashed Benfica over 2 legs.
Yeah.
The Jose, apparently when he was complaining and the ref was putting the game off for 10 minutes, which is the protocol that UEFA have, to also calm the crowd down. Mourinho was apparently telling him stuff like, look, you shouldn't make things up. This club has a legendary black player named Eusebio, as if, they have black friends. They clearly would never. I'm like, what? Jose, come on, man. Like, you don't have to say that. You can say stuff like, I don't know, I've got to back my player, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's stuff you just have to say. That's fine. Yeah. Like, I don't like it, but, you have to kind of be politically correct, sort of, at that point. Like, like, it's not acceptable, but, the fact that he's, like, basically accusing Vinicius of making it up, like, that's not. And also, like, bringing up, Eusebio into it. What the hell, man?
I know, exactly. You say, but I have a black friend defense. I can't be racist, I have black friends.
And by the way, none of us think Jose Mourinho is racist, right? No. So many of his black players love him, right? And he genuinely is not. But, like, you can say something messed up like that, like... it's just like this is why if Mourinho was like a manager who wasn't like that, we wouldn't be necessarily as disappointed. We're like, Mourinho, come on, man. So anyway, Bodo Glimt playing Sporting, who don't look good in the league. I think Bodo's gonna win that. Once again, like, they're playing really awesome football.
Yeah.
They've had players leave, managers get taken. They're like Brentford. They're the Brentford of Norway. They just keep doing it. Then next fixture, Paris Saint-Germain against Chelsea. PSG, they have pretty much won the league, but they look terrible this season in Europe.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the force they were. Chelsea have a busy fixture. Like, if I were honest, I'd just tell Chelsea they should just lose this and try and qualify for the Champions League, finish top 4, cement it. But that's not what's going to happen. I can see Chelsea, like, going through a long thing. I do think this fixture will go to penalty shootouts, and I think because it's at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea will get through.
Yeah, potentially. The game, say on Thursday, this coming Thursday in Paris will be the interesting one. It's in Paris. It's the next game against PSG since the World Club final, where we just absolutely had their number. So it could be interesting. Yeah,
the fact that you guys have the away fixture in the second leg is an advantage. I think Newcastle, it's the opposite. Having the home fixture at home is better for them. But for every other English team, they've got the away fixture at home in the first leg, and I think that is to their advantage.
Yeah.
Manchester City then are playing the last one, playing Real Madrid as per usual. Seems to happen a round of 16 every year, because Real Madrid's always shit the bed in the league phase now. But this is the knockout phase. They are in turmoil. This is City's chance. Like, for all that City aren't playing that well in the league this year, the team looks united. Bernardo Silva looked like a man possessed, leading this team, and like Rodri is back. Europe is, and I'm sure Guardiola wants to punish Real Madrid. This is their opportunity.
Yeah.
I think City are gonna get it. City are just gonna make it through. Erling Haaland will score a hat-trick in both games. They'll get through.
That seems to be the way it should go, but once again, I feel like this is just Real Madrid's game. Like, it seems to be the round of 16 fixture. It's just settled in stone. That's the one we'll have, and then Real Madrid seems to win it. So, it seems less likely this year, but at the same point, it just seems like that's the script, that Real Madrid win these fixtures. So.
Yeah, it doesn't tend to happen in the years they're with an interim manager, though.
Yeah, fair.
So, I think, like, this is the year for Barcelona to win the league. Real Madrid kind of have a pretty big lead at the top of La Liga at the moment.
I think Barcelona's taken it back. They're backwards and forwards a bit. Yeah, but Real Madrid's second, so Barcelona's put out a 4-point lead on them, 67 points to 63.
Yeah, so I think Barca are gonna win La Liga right now, because like I said, changing the manager hasn't given them the new manager bounce and all that other stuff. And while they look good in Europe against Benfica, I think Real Madrid are gonna struggle against Manchester City. Just like every English team has just seemed like they're better than their European teams when they've come up. Like there's just this difference in quality showing through. So, like, as proven by the fact that every English team managed to make it to the round of 16.
Yeah.
And might potentially make it to like, if every English team manages to make it to the next round, 6 out of 8 teams are going to be from England.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid and Barcelona are going to be out. There's going to be basically Bayern Munich and Bodo Glimt to stop them.
Yeah, exactly. We could have only English City finals.
Obviously, Bodo Glimt are just going to win at that point, right? They'll draw. Yeah. They'll get Bayern in the next round and beat Bayern, and then they'll get Spurs in the semi-finals and beat Spurs. And then, like, in the finals, they'll play someone like Liverpool, Yeah. There'll probably be more Liverpool fans in Bodo Glimt's home state when they play the home leg. Oh wait, that's going to be a final, so it won't be played.
So yeah, that's still hilarious.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean. Hilarious. Oh dear.
There's more Liverpool fans in Norway than there's an entire city of Bodo and Glimt.
All right, that's crazy.
So yeah, it would be crazy if that was what happened. But that's what's just going to happen, right? That's just.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just what's going to happen. Or maybe they'll play Manchester City and Erling Haaland will just let them win because, they're Norwegian brothers. So those are the Champions League round of 16s. We're looking at the Europa League. We have Bologna play AS Roma, so an all-Italian fixture. Bologna have been really good. Last season. Roma are also currently not doing too badly. Both teams have nothing else to play for this season at this point.
Yeah.
I do think Roma are just going to sneak through in this game. Then next up we have Lille play Villa. Villa are going to get to play Lille away first and then host them. I think once again that plays to Villa's advantage. They're going to win that fixture, I think, quite easily. Then we have Panathinaikos playing against Real Betis. Betis, I think, are having a great season in La Liga. They've shown a lot of their quality in Europe. I think they're going to win ahead of Panathinaikos. Fixture. Then we have VfB Stuttgart versus FC Porto. Porto commanding in the Portuguese league at the moment. I think Stuttgart, there's having a messy season in the Bundesliga right now. My pick is for my pick is for Porto to get through at this point. We then go Celta Vigo versus Lyon. Celta having one of the great seasons to be playing here in the business end of the in a European thing, and they're European competition, and they're in the top 6 at the moment in La Liga. But I do think Lyon are just too good. They've turned things around for themselves. Currently in the league, Lyon are currently 5th. I think it'll just be Lyon, because they're almost, I think, guaranteed a European spot. So this is also like one of the things that they're left to play with. Then we have Ferencváros from Hungary play against Braga. Braga, this is like this sort of competition is their bread and butter. Ferencváros has done really well to make it to the business end, but I think Braga are gonna get through. Forest versus Midtjylland, obviously I think Forest are getting through in that one. They're hosting at the City Ground first, so they get to potentially put on a big amount of goals if they can, and then in the return fixture they can play a slightly more weakened side. Then we have Racing Genk versus Freiburg. I think Freiburg are a really interesting team. I would love to see them go further. They're not doing too well in the Bundesliga right now, so this is what they have to play for. Genk, they're doing pretty well in the Belgian league right now, but I think Freiburg are gonna get through in the end.
Fair.
Then finally, the Conference League. We go AZ Alkmaar versus Sparta Prague. I think Sparta tends to make to quarters and semis in this competition, so I would be picking the Czech side over AZ. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, and then we've got Shakhtar Donetsk play against Poznan. Obviously, Donetsk are going to play their home games not at home. Poznan are one of the teams that do well in currently Polish football are doing well, and the Poznan is potentially a team that could go for a long run in the Conference League. I don't think they're going to win it, but they could go for a run. I think Poznan are going to win. Then we have Rijeka in Croatia versus Strasbourg. Obviously, as a Blue Co man, you're predicting Strasbourg here. I think I'll predict Strasbourg as well. Gonna make it through. Then we have Samsunspor versus Rayo Vallecano. I think Vallecano are gonna win this one. It's again team do pretty well in Europe. Crystal Palace play Aika Larnaca in their game. I think Crystal Palace are gonna win. In Selhurst Park, and then probably handily away in the return fixture. In Cyprus. Then the next team we have is Fiorentina playing against Rijeka Katowice. They will play. I think this one's probably going to go to Fiorentina. They tend to win these fixtures. Then we have NK Sili in Slovenia playing against AEK Athens. I think AEK Athens probably are going to take this one. Then we have Sigma Olomouc in Czechia playing against Mainz in Germany. I think Mainz are going to get through.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So, once again, like, none of these teams, I think, looking there, are in a position to really challenge. They're not in a position to really challenge Crystal Palace. The maybe like in the later, like the way the seeding should work, they shouldn't have to play a team like if maybe they'll get really unlucky and draw a team like Fiorentina or Strasbourg in the next round. But even then, those are teams that I think Crystal Palace as a squad and with the manager available to them, should be able to beat. And they've got Oliver Glasner won the Europa League with Eintracht. So Crystal Palace definitely have the and I'm sure Oliver Glasner wants to take the opportunity now that it's obvious that Steve Parish is not going to fire him. May as well win a European trophy at this point.
My only real thought is where Fiorentina manages to become the bridesmaid again. They may be unfortunate and meet Crystal Palace in the semis, or whether they make it to the final and have to face them there. Strasbourg's the other one that, for me, is the other strong contender. But I don't see it not being Crystal Palace. Strasbourg was it's Blueco, so as Blueco money can add into it, and we've got all our players we don't want. So
exactly. But we'll see how those play out. There is some interesting news for the Premier League. They're going to start a streaming service.
Ooh.
Which is going to be playing in Singapore. You can immediately see that this is a really clever idea to do it in Singapore. Like, it's in an area where they have a lot of piracy issues. A lot of the thing is that people in every part of the world seems to have to pay loads of money to either get a package from a company like Sky, and all they want from Sky is probably Premier League. Like, I would probably be happy to just from Sky get an NRL pass and a Premier League pass.
Maybe F1, but you can get the F1 TV anyway, so
you can get F1 TV, and realistically it's Drive to Survive that we all watch. And the cricket is on in enough free to air that I'm happy with my options, and things like there's enough NFL on Disney Plus for me, and NBA on Disney Plus for me. So,
and TVNZ has some of the NFL as well.
TVNZ for that matter, and TVNZ. So I'm not starving for those other sports that I follow. Really, simply, it would just be an NRL and Premier League that I would want to and NRL and Premier League are the sports where I'd probably be watching a lot of fixtures. I'd be getting my money's worth. If Warriors just made Warriors TV, I'd just watch that. I wouldn't even need an NRL.
Well, theoretically, I think Warriors games are free to air on Sky Open, just delayed. Same with the Super Rugby. If you're into the Super Rugby, they're generally all on. The Saturday night ones definitely, but most of the others are on delayed anyway. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is realistically, when you get Sky, you're paying $500-ish a year for the digital.
Something crazy like that, I think actually it's less. I think it's $450 something for a yearly package. So if you pay yearly, if you pay monthly, I think it's over 500.
Just way to do it, and that's what I've done. It was cheaper when I started. It was $400, but that was to entice you to come in, and they're clearly going to increase their prices. So if the Premier League it becomes successful in Singapore, and let's be honest, they're gonna probably ignore lots of people VPNing into this service as long as they get their money. Probably people from Europe or USA are not gonna use the VPN thing to watch it here, but people in Australasia, Asia, will definitely look at it
Exactly.
as an option, like especially if it's significantly cheaper than Sky,
Yeah.
like, or whatever their local equivalent happens to be, whether it's DAZN or BN. Like BN was at least good value, right? BN is $200 a year. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay, I can deal with BN, like that's fine. And BN had decent other stuff. It had tennis. It had
Yeah. A few other
things.
options. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had other football leagues, right? It had way more other football leagues.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
Sky has NRL and rugby, and AFL, which realistically I only care about sort of, not really.
Yeah.
And we do a podcast about it, but like, yeah. Like I care about it during certain parts of the year, like Anzac Day and like during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whereas like I do follow NRL until the Warriors are eliminated.
Until they're mathematically eliminated.
Yes, exactly.
As long as there's a chance, there's a chance.
Exactly. So it's interesting news there all around. They're doing like clearly it's something they're going to probably end up bringing into Europe. And Ligue 1 also went digital because their TV rights, DAZN, ended up paying them to take it back, which is a bad look. They weren't making the money, but Ligue 1 released Ligue 1 Plus, and yeah, they initially got 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, it's good.
It's more like, what are they going to do in the months that Ligue 1 are not on, don't have games, right? Like, this is so how they can retain it. But I think if you like people like the products, like apparently at first there were some technical issues, but like it's all more or less been resolved, and people are pretty happy with it. Like 72% of their subscribers signed up for the annual package, which is great for them.
That's good, yeah.
The service is $14.99 pounds per month. That's pretty good as well. And like they're not even being unrealistic. They're targeting 2.2 to 2.5 million, which is like, yep, very reasonable
That's
numbers.
very reasonable, yeah.
So 14 million with 1 million subscribers per month. Let's just call it roughly. It's probably 150 a year with that sort of monthly pricing.
Yeah.
150 with 1 million, so 1.5 billion. Okay. For Ligue 1, that's not bad.
Not bad.
But you are constantly grinding for that, right? Like it's not a predictable revenue like having a TV or a satellite like sponsor, like for the rights. But as it grows, they could potentially get it in other markets.
Yeah.
So it is. I think it's going to be interesting. Like clearly, that's what's the sport is headed. The reason why the Premier League wasn't being like first mover and trying to push through initially is because they don't have to. They're at the top of the table.
Exactly.
They can just watch everybody what they're doing and like not make the mistakes that they do, and just put it out properly when they put it out. And they can they don't want to have the effort. Like they don't want to run a call center where people call them up and complain about the signal's not good, blah blah. They're like, no, Sky can deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
You give money Sky and you guys can do it, right? If Sky is paying, like I think what was the Premier League rights in Britain, League TV rights, UK value, about $9 billion US dollars. Okay. So if Sky are paying $9 billion for those rights, they must be making at least $20 billion.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Just how it works. It's probably way more than that. But they must be making at least $20 billion in the UK from advertising, like You know,
yeah,
probably
exactly.
the viewers and all this that they get from people, getting their Sky subscription. So the they do have this up their sleeve. Like now, it also like whenever they, put up their TV rights in the US and other places, they're like, yeah, we do have streaming. Like, if you guys are not gonna come to the party, pay us what we're worth, okay, we can just be a Netflix of the Premier League.
Exactly.
Like, they've realized that Netflix themselves or Amazon are probably not going to come to the party with these sort of numbers.
Yeah.
They've both kind of committed to NFL. It's like, there's only so much money for them to
spread around, yeah.
Yeah, and like Disney Plus or any of the big telcos. So the Premier League kind of just going, okay, but maybe it now makes sense. There's a really interesting interview with the head of the EFL, who has said they're considering potentially doing a streaming service in the UK for the championship.
Yeah.
Which will make it more they'll gives certain ability to get revenues for all the clubs in the pyramid.
Yeah.
Or the head of the Scottish League has also said something like that. Yeah, we can look at that as well.
Yeah.
So interesting times. Yeah, I know Premier League and the results are our bread and butter, but this is our actual bread and butter when we talk about the things around the sport and how
exactly.
it's consumed. So watch this space. It is going to start from the 26-27 season in Singapore, and look, I expect that's going to break the mold.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think that's big. That's huge.
Yeah, I can easily see them get, Singapore has a population, I think, of 5 million people. I can easily see them get, that's probably, give or take, 1 million households. There's probably 500,000 subscribers. That's assuming one per household. If there's multiple people in the household with subscriptions, which I don't see why you'd do that, but it'll be at least 1 million.
Yeah.
This is unless and if they don't stop other people from around Southeast Asia from just using VPNs together, there'll be way more than 1 million.
Yeah, exactly. There's currently 6 million people in Singapore. Yeah, if they don't crack down on VPNs, they could have 10 million subscribers in Singapore.
Yeah, 6 million 6 million people. That I could easily see that have 1 million subscribers then.
Yeah,
because there's just so many football fans, right? And we're not counting businesses like bars will have subscriptions.
Yeah, exactly.
Commercial subscriptions and things like this, which is separate to the households, so it could roughly go up to that sort of value. So yeah, and the Premier League can probably charge a decent. To be fair, they'll probably charge similar, 150, right? I think 150 ringgit or 150 Singaporean dollars seems about right for a yearly package, and $15 a month.
Yeah,
that feels like the right value, right? For what it should cost.
Yeah, it feels about right.
I know we talked a lot about VPNs, but we do not have a VPN sponsor, so go with whoever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Also, VPN sponsors, if you want us to do an ad break, hook us up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, on that note, I think that's all we have time for today, and we'll look forward to hearing from you next time.
Catch you next time.
Well, that is the end. Thanks for listening all the way through.
If you liked what you heard, we have even more. 9642 Discord and a Buy Me a Coffee.
Pretty sure it's Buy Me a Beer.
Oh yeah, buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com.
In both these places, you can talk to us, and we may even listen, especially if you do buy a said beer or coffee.
I might still be confused.
Yes, we're easily bribed. All links are in the show notes below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
This is on YouTube.